been stirring that latte for 5 minutes straight without taking a sip, so I know something is wrong. You usually inhale your coffee.
Is it that obvious? I just feel incredibly drained today. I barely slept last night because my mind would not shut off.
Does this have anything to do with Tom? I know you two were supposed to go away for the weekend. Did it not go well?
It did not happen. We stayed home. And honestly, I am at the point where I do not even know if I want to try anymore.
That sounds serious. Put the spoon down and tell me exactly what happened. We have time.
So the weekend trip was supposed to be his idea, right? He said months ago that he wanted to take me somewhere nice for my birthday. I was so excited because usually I am the one planning everything.
Let me guess. Wednesday rolled around and nothing was booked.
Exactly. Wednesday came and I asked him what time we needed to leave on Friday. He looked at me like a deer in headlights. He had not booked the hotel, he had not checked the train schedule, he had not even looked up restaurants. He just assumed I would step in and fix it because I always do.
That is so frustrating. It is not just about the trip, is it? It is about the expectation that you are the safety net.
It is completely exhausting. I feel like the project manager of our life, and he is just an intern waiting for instructions. If I do not tell him to buy a gift for his mother, he forgets. If I do not remind him that we need dish soap, we run out. I carry the entire mental map of our household in my head, and he just lives in it.
You are describing the mental load. It's invisible labor. You are doing all the cognitive work of monitoring and planning and delegating, and he gets the luxury of just executing tasks when he's told.
Yes, and when I get upset, he says the worst possible thing. He says, "Just tell me what you want me to do and I will do it." He thinks he is being helpful, but he does not understand that having to tell him what to do is still work. I do not want a helper, I want a partner who takes initiative. That is a huge distinction. A helper waits for orders. A partner shares the responsibility of noticing what needs to be done. It sounds like you're stuck in a cycle where you overfunction, so he underfunctions. I think you're right. Maybe I made it too easy for him in the beginning. I like things to be organized, so I just did it all. Now I resent him for letting me do it, but I'm terrified that if I stop, everything will fall apart.
It's a trap. You're resentful because you're carrying a two-person load. But as long as you keep carrying it, he has no reason to build any muscle. He can just coast.
So I'm stuck. If I plan everything, I'm bitter. If I do not plan anything, we sit on the couch and do nothing. How do we break out of this dynamic without me turning into a nag?
You mentioned the word nag, and that is actually the key to the whole problem. You have accidentally slipped into a parent-child dynamic. When you manage his life and then correct him when he gets it wrong, you are acting like a mother, not a partner.
That is exactly how it feels. It is the least sexy feeling in the world. I find myself using this tone of voice that I swear I heard my own mother use when I was a teenager. And the worst part is that he reacts like a teenager. He rolls his eyes or he procrastinates just to annoy me.
It is a psychological defense mechanism. When one partner becomes the directive authority figure, the other partner instinctively fights for autonomy. He withdraws or performs the task poorly on purpose, just to prove that he cannot be controlled. It is called the pursuer-distancer dynamic. The more you pursue him with tasks and reminders, the more he distances himself to preserve his sense of self.
So by trying to get things done, I'm actually making him more passive. I'm training him to wait for me to push him.
Exactly. Every time you rescue him or remind him, you rob him of the opportunity to take ownership. You are carrying the anxiety for both of you. If he knows you will never let the ball drop, why should he bother catching it? He knows you are the safety net.
But that is terrifying. If I step back, things will actually go wrong. The bills will be late or we will miss events. My anxiety cannot handle that chaos.
That is the hard truth you have to face. Your anxiety is the fuel for this engine. You are overfunctioning to manage your own fear of things going wrong. But as long as you protect him from the natural consequences of his inaction, he will never learn. Adults learn through consequences, not through lectures.
So I have to let him fail? I have to let him forget to kick the table and let us end up eating cereal for our anniversary dinner.
Yes, and you have to do it without saying, "I told you so." That is the hardest part. You have to let the reality of the situation be the teacher. Right now, you are the teacher, and he resents you for it. If you step back and let reality hit him, he might finally wake up and realize he needs to participate in his own life.
I see what you're saying. I've been viewing his passivity as laziness, but maybe it's just learned helplessness because I never gave him the space to actually be in charge.
It is likely a mix of both, but you cannot change him. You can only change your steps in the dance. If you stop overfunctioning, he will eventually have to step up or fall flat on his face, but you have to be willing to watch him fall.
So how do I actually start this change without just stopping everything and causing a massive fight? If I just stop buying groceries today, we will starve by Thursday. That feels passive-aggressive. You were right. You cannot just go on strike without warning. You need to have a meta conversation. Do not bring this up while you are angry about the dishes. Sit down with him when things are calm and have a State of the Union meeting. I always try to talk when I am already frustrated. That is probably a mistake. What should I say in this meeting so he does not get defensive? Shift the focus from his behavior to your feelings. Instead of saying, "You never help out," say, "I feel overwhelmed and lonely when I have to manage the household alone." Vulnerability is much harder to argue with than criticism. Tell him you want him to have full ownership of certain domains, not just tasks. What do you mean by domains? Instead of asking him to peel the potatoes, which is a task, give him the domain of dinner. That means he plans the meal, he buys the ingredients, and he cooks it. You do not intervene, you do not remind him. If he forgets to buy salt, he deals with bland food. He needs to experience the full cycle of responsibility to feel competent. That requires me to let go of control completely. I have to trust that he will handle it even if he does it differently than I would. Exactly. You have to agree on a minimum standard of care beforehand. Agree on what good looks like so you are on the same page. But after that, you have to back off. It's about treating him like a capable adult. It is scary, but it's the only way to get your partner back and lose the employee. It sounds terrifying, but also kind of relieving. Imagine just coming home and not having to think about what's for dinner because it's literally not my department. It is freedom, and it gives him the chance to be the hero. Men usually want to succeed. They just don't want to be micromanaged. Give him the keys to the car and let him drive. I'm going to do it. I will schedule the talk for tonight. No more lists, no more reminders. I am retiring from my position as household manager. Cheers to that. Drink your coffee before it gets cold. You've got this.